Let's start with Cameron Carter-Vickers, 24-year-old center back on loan from Tottenham to the one and only mighty Celtic in the Scottish Premiership, who are league champions. They're 6 points above Rangers, their biggest rivals, with 1 game left to go. Now, Cameron Carter-Vickers supposedly is going to sign a full-time deal at $6 million transfer fee, from what I understand, from Tottenham. Tottenham's happy with that. They respect him, but they think this is a good situation, kind of a win for everybody. Now, Jan Vertonghen, when he was playing for Spurs and Carter-Vickers got into the first team, called him an absolute beast. When I looked at it, I didn't realize how old he was. I thought he was like 27, 28 at this point. Dude's 24. Now, given his performance and his steady performances with Celtic, Heath, I'll come to you first. Do you feel like Cameron Carter-Vickers should be called in for these? Well, there's going to be 2 friendlies and then 2 Nations League games in June. What do you say?
Well, I think that we've decided to go with, and this is not a disrespect to the players that we have, the minimum viable product of what the capabilities of our center back pool is, right? Which is more of your hard-nosed center backs, win your duels, win your battles, defense first. We've kind of scrapped the idea of like, wouldn't it be nice if we had a John Anthony Brooks who maybe he gets turned in the wrong positions or gets pulled out of positions, but really good on the ball. Tim Ream, same thing, gets pulled out of positions, but is very good on the ball in terms of distribution, keeping the ball and things like that. I think we've dialed it back to something a little more simple, just athletic, good, foundationally strong center backs. Cameron Carter-Vickers fits into that conversation. Mm-hmm. And I've actually been kind of not screaming, but yelling for his name to be included in these camps, considering that he's playing for a team that's competing for trophies. Now, to go back to, oddly, what Matt Turner had said in terms of the level and the quality that Greg Berhalter was talking to him about, which was like being on the bench at Arsenal is better than I'm paraphrasing what he said into my own words, but being on the bench at Arsenal or competing for a spot at Arsenal, but probably not winning that spot is more important to be at a higher level on a daily basis than the matches that you're playing in maybe Major League Soccer. I think about the same for Cameron Carter-Vickers. However, he's in a title race at a club that has to play under immense pressure where second place is failure always there, right? And yes, they're one of the 2 big clubs, but coming out where he's getting results against Rangers, I think is certainly a shout. It's just one of those things where you start to look at it and it starts to get really crowded in terms of where does he fit in. Now, if we're going to go 27 to a World Cup, maybe that's a little bit different, but to bring him in this late in the cycle just feels like, what is it from getting a goal against Rangers that changes his performance where he's one of the best, considered statistically one of the best defenders in the Scottish Premier League? What's the difference now, right? Other than the fact that he's getting more attention because he's scoring a big goal in a big game. I think he's been at a high level.
If you're Cameron Carter-Vickers, what else are you supposed to do? I mean,
that's my point. It's like nothing's changed other than the fact that it's a headline moment, but he's been good. And statistically, again, I think one of the best 2 or 3 dual-winning center backs and actually set piece. He
averages 4.4 clearances a game, which is for Celtic in the Scottish Premiership. So take that, as you say, with a little bit of a grain of salt. But that is almost twice as many as any other defender for Celtic. And I think it leads all the Scottish Premiership in terms of his influence, his mere presence, Charlie. So Carter-Vickers, where do you see him? Do you feel like he deserves a chance? I mean, if you're going to look at anybody, we only have 6 games, everybody. We only have 6 games before we can pick a team. Now, we can bring people into camp and all that stuff, but it's easier to judge, obviously, if you have games to hold them accountable for. Do you think he should be brought in for these June games?
I absolutely do think he deserves a chance. When you're playing consistently for a top club in a league like Celtic, who will be the eventual champions, I believe. The problem with the Scottish Premiership is ever since Rangers went into administration, everyone kind of booked it because that league was basically you either played for Rangers or Celtic, and whoever the winner was typically playing in Champions League. Since Rangers administration, we haven't seen a Scottish team really in the qualifying group stages of Champions League. And we sure as hell haven't seen them compete in Champions League. So I think now you're starting to see a lot of players go and play in different leagues and different clubs. And so therefore the Scottish League, I think, dropped considerably. I feel like it's now starting to pick back up. And with Cameron Carter-Vickers now being a starting center back on a championship team, you got to give him a chance. He's playing consistently. He's doing well. He's getting all the plaudits. I mean, he's earned a call-up, especially at the center back position.